Hey y'all. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling today? It's good to see y'all. We got the Youth Perspective Town Halls jumping off, and I'm super excited for this one. Yo, how y'all feeling today, y'all? How y'all feeling today, y'all? Who at the top of my list today? Tizzy Tay, what's up, baby? How you doing? I see you up there. Look, y'all, this is a serious conversation. Like, yo, when we say no broke bum energy today, like today out of all days, like we really mean it. Because conversations like this, y'all, first of all, understand it takes a lot for people to come up here, talk about their experiences, open up about these type of things that most people like to sweep under the rug. So, like, really, this is going to be one of those conversations where as much positive support as possible as needed. Like, all the positive vibes are definitely needed. And I'm so excited because if anybody knows Kaya, y'all know she don't do this a lot, y'all. And that's going to be one of y'all hosts tonight. That's going to be one of y'all hosts, yo. Tonight, Kaya and Jordy. Y'all already know how Jordy do. Y'all know anytime she step in, it's fire. But I'm so proud of these ladies for stepping up to have this important conversation. And look, y'all, I came prepared. I got my popcorn, y'all. I got my little situation. Yo, you need to make sure you're ready. If you're not ready, yo, go get whatever you snacking on. Go get whatever you need for your little eyes, yo, and come on back and get ready for this conversation. Because I promise you, this conversation is gonna get deep, yo. But look, hey, 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 Gemma, Charlie, don't play with me. I comes prepared, shorty. You heard me. But yo, let me go ahead and get one of y'all hosts on here, y'all. Miss Jordy, what's up?
Wait, let me do my sound check. Can everybody hear me?
Yo, look, y'all, this how we know this session about to be fire, because we can't even hear, yo. The devil always working, ain't he?
You for real?
We hold up. Maybe it's me. Hang on. It's probably
Oh
me.
my god.
I can hear you. That was me. My bad.
Okay. I was about to say.
Yo,
Had to do my sound check first, because you know the streaming be acting crazy sometimes.
listen, I be putting a lot of my stuff on mute sometimes, and I got it on my little checklist to unmute it, but I guess I missed this one, so
Okay.
that's on me. But thank you for being here.
Of course.
Thank you for having this hard like conversation and just being willing to facilitate this, because
Oh,
young people,
definitely. I know it's a difficult conversation, but I'm honestly excited because, getting those conversations out there is really important. So I'd rather do it than not do it.
yes, I appreciate it so much. And I hope your co-host ain't leave you hanging. I,
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure she's going to be here.
oh, she
But
know what
hey,
time it's
just in case, I'm still prepared, just in case. But I'm sure she's gonna be here. But even if she's not, I'll still be able to run it.
Oh man, I know that's right.
Hey
Uh,
everybody, 'cause I know it's a bunch of people saying hi in the chat. So hey Mar, hey Naeem, hey Gemma.
man, what's up, y'all? Miss Amber here too. What's up, Miss Amber? Well,
Oh, hey,
I'm gonna let you do it. I'm a fade to the back. Like I said, I got my little popcorn here.
oh my god.
Yo, I got my little
Oh my
right
god.
here. Look, I'm ready. I don't play with me. I am ready. So you just let me know anything you need. I'm gonna go look for your wingman.
Okay. I'm just waiting on my other host. That's it. But I'll go ahead and get started.
Okay, cool. I'll see you back later.
Okay. Okay. So hey everybody. just going to introduce myself for everybody who doesn't know me, just in case, because we might have a lot of new people here. My name is Jordan. I'm 17. I'm a senior at Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. So today we're just here to talk about not just domestic violence, but relationship abuse in general within the youth community, because it doesn't just happen to adults, it can happen to young adults and teenagers. My goal here is not to make anybody cry, it's not to make anybody feel bad, it's just to really bring awareness to the topic. I'm waiting on my co-host because she had her story to share, but I'm just going to start y'all off talking about a few things that I feel are really important when talking about this topic. Personally, for me, I feel like it's important to address all aspects of relationship abuse because, you know, a lot of times when we hear the term abuse when it comes to relationships and when it comes to a couple, we automatically think physical. And it's not always the case. There are multiple forms of abuse. There are multiple forms of relationship violence that can occur between two people, manipulation, emotional abuse, mental abuse. Those things contribute just as much as physical abuse does. And I feel like that's really important because it can happen at a young age, especially if the two people who are dating are still learning themselves as young adults. I feel like a lot of times people expect things to flow really easily in a relationship between two young people, and we have to realize that those two young people are still learning themselves. You might not know every characteristic about yourself while you're still trying to learn and date another person. So some of those characteristics will start to come out and start to show. So that's a really important thing to address. And yes, we're here to talk about the physical abuse, of course. That's another thing. Me personally, I've never gone through any type of physical abuse in any relationship. I've gone through emotional abuse. I've gone through mental abuse when it comes to relationships. So I do understand that aspect, but my co-host understands, I believe, the physical side more. So we're still going to wait for her to share her story, which I feel like it's really important to hear firsthand how someone has dealt with abuse and was able to recover from it, because we never know who's in this session who may have gone through the same thing that she went through, or maybe that I went through when it comes to emotional, or just may need some type of advice. Also, I don't have any set guests, so if there's anybody who feels like they can relate or want to share anything about the topic or has any personal experience that they want to share, just let me know. You can type in the chat or let Miss Joni know and ask her for the link, or you can ask me for the link personally. But I'm super open to guests because I love to give people firsthand experience when they come to talk about their story. It's always better to hear from the mouth of the person who's been through it. But I do have questions for the people in the chat who want to answer, if you can answer or have witnessed it. I feel like it's really important to tie in the other side because, yes, while we should always focus and be frequently focused on the people who are going through the abuse, as the peers and the people who may be witnessing it, it's great to hear how we can help, how we can support. Because a lot of times just saying, oh, just leave them isn't the best advice, because it's not ever that simple, especially if it's a physical situation, especially if there are children involved, if there are other family members involved, because you never know. Once you introduce someone to your family and you start to see their abusive tendencies and their abusive sides, you never know how far they will go to keep you restrained when it comes to them. They may hurt your family, they may hurt your children, they may hurt your friends, especially if you introduce them to every side of your life. There are a lot of things that could be at risk when just telling someone to leave the situation. Getting the police involved can be risky. Filing a restraining order can be risky. So the one question that I did want to ask, at least the people in the chat, if you've been through any form of abuse, how do you feel peers or family or friends should help when it comes to those situations? And again, if anybody wants to join and answer or just type in the chat and answer, I'll read them up here. But that's one thing that I did want to discuss, because I know I've witnessed family members and friends go through forms of abuse. And a lot of times, especially as a kid or a teenager, you don't really know if it's your place to say something, because you never know how you might put yourself at risk saying something, especially if it's in the heat of the moment. You never know if it's a violent situation, if they would be willing to put their hands on you for speaking up. So a lot of the times it's hard to just step in and play that savior role. Not even savior, but play that helpful role without putting yourself at risk in that, or them in the process, because you never know when someone may snap or just may not be having the best control of their emotions at the time. I'm gonna text my co-host because I really need her here. So I'm gonna keep talking though, but I just need to text my co-host and get her here. Okay. But just back to what I was saying about the different forms of abuse. And reaching out to people, it's very much easier said than done because, especially if you're in a situation for a really long time, you can become comfortable with it. There are cycles when it comes to abuse. There's that honeymoon phase. And sometimes the good can feel like it outweighs bad. But either way, if it's an abusive situation, if it's a hostile situation, if it's a toxic situation, if there are more arguments than there are calm conversation and compromise, then that's not a situation that you have to be in. And I know a lot of times people say, love is easy, love should be easy, or being in a relationship, you just need love. It's not that simple. Relationships involve respect, mutual respect at that, because you can't have respect without giving it, and you can't give respect without having it. So love is not enough to make a relationship last. I know a lot of the times in abusive situations, love is the one thing that's keeping them there, or comfort, because they've grown so comfortable with that person that it's hard to want to leave and separate from them completely. So just for people who have been through abuse, keeping in mind that your family and your friends will probably always be there to support you. And even if it's not your family and your friends, there are people out there who will take the time to reach out and help you. There are support groups, there are group therapy sessions, there are group homes, there are programs set up, nonprofit programs, meaning you won't have to pay a penny just to get help, just to have a place to stay. I know the police cannot always be the best of help, because when it comes to breaking a restraining order, somebody can do that easily. Setting a restraining order is just a written document that can have that space set. And yes, in court, you can say they violated their restraining order, but they can continue to make those violations and not have anything happen to them over time. Ms. Sharon said, just be supportive. You can be their only escape. Be there to listen with no response. And if they need a safe place, just be that. I feel like that's really important, because a lot of times sometimes when people are ranting or venting to you, you automatically or just think to give a response first. And it may be the easiest thing for you, because, when you talk to someone, you give them a response. When you are speaking to someone, you automatically think to respond back. But sometimes you have to, one, as the listener, ask, do you want results from me, or do you want just a listening ear? Because you never know what they want. Some people, in the heat of their moment, they just want to be listened to. Other people truly need someone who is going to say, okay, here's how you feel. I understand that, but we need to do this, this, and this to make you stop feeling that way. And for some people who get just responses from the person that they're venting to, it can make them feel like they weren't heard. Where other people will feel like, okay, you really understand me because you were able to give them a response. It really just depends, but I feel like it's important as a peer to understand what type of advice your friend or the person that you're listening to wants from you. Especially, that's something that I've gone through with my own family, just my mom. I've had to let her know, hey, I just want you to listen to me right now. I don't want you to give me advice. I don't want you to tell me what to do. I want you to listen to me. And there are other times where I say, okay, here's how I feel. Do you have any solutions? So as the listener and as the speaker, you guys both have to set that unspoken boundary or spoken boundary when it comes to what you want out of a vent session. Oh, hey Naeem, I'm sorry, I was busy talking.
Oh, you got how you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. To be honest, I'm feeling good. I'm just here to back you up a little bit.
Thank you.
Cause I feel you like we could have people coming in late and stuff like that. But like from my personal experience, whatever, I can't really. I don't. I mean, I wouldn't say I can't really speak too much on it, but at the same time, I haven't really experienced it myself. Cause it's like I've never been in situations like that with people, like but I witnessed it before. Like how girls be abused about boy from you know from boys and stuff like that. Like I seen
Mhm.
it before myself, and I feel like in my personal opinion, I feel like the domestic violence and emotional abuse, it's not, and it's really unnecessary in my opinion, because not only you damage someone else, but you're damaging yourself. It shows that now it's I feel like people shouldn't always use, I would say, say example, she did this. Now he feel like if he's hurt by her, or he always should seek revenge. I feel like that shouldn't happen at all as well. I feel like, I just want to bring solutions to the point where it don't have to happen. Cause no, you don't want nobody to get hurt during a situation. So I definitely agree with what you're talking about, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I wanted to read that something that Gemma said. She said, "Seeing my mother be mentally abused, I felt her emotions and how she felt, and hated seeing how she was being treated because it affected me, and all we could do was offer support." Um, what do I want to say? Sorry. Having empathy for someone is really important. And even though you didn't know exactly what to do to help, I'm sure for her as a parent, that was really important. Just having your support and having your emotional support there for her. Having you there and knowing that you actually understood what she was going through because you felt her emotions to a certain extent probably meant more than anything that you probably could come up with to do. So sometimes help more than those postures, because sometimes you really do just need a listening ear. Gifts don't really help. Just having somebody there to talk to is really important. And I wanted to read what Mar said as well. My mother was verbally abused, and it hurt me and my siblings because she was worth more than what some people call her. That's why I said doesn't make society can make you, it really breaks you. Um, Definitely. Not even just society. I feel like words have much more weight and hold much more power than people believe. The power of the tongue is a real thing. You can manifest your own life through speaking on it positively. The same, if you speak on your life negatively, you'll start to have a negative connotation of life. So just constantly being spoken on negatively by another person, constantly being in that negative environment will start to affect your mental state and your mental health. The same way through emotional abuse and mental abuse. It affects so many aspects of your self-esteem, just your self-esteem, your self-worth, your confidence, how you view relationships, how you view other people, how you view yourself can quickly be changed if you're constantly in that environment and having to deal with that type of setting. So just understanding that it can hold weight and it's not easy to recover from. And no abuse is lesser than the other. That's what I'm going to say. Sorry. No amount of abuse is lesser than the other. Some people may feel like, okay, well, emotional abuse isn't as bad as physical abuse because you have emotional abuse and you can recover from that. But I feel like all types of abuse when it comes to relationships and in general, it's equally as bad. And not even just romantic relationships. Emotional abuse and physical abuse can happen in platonic relationships. It can happen in familiar relationships. So it covers all grounds. So it's just really too important for me to emphasize that it doesn't just happen when you're dating someone. It can happen between your family. Your family can emotionally abuse you. And blood does not always mean you have to keep somebody close. If somebody in your family is physically abusing you, sexually abusing you, emotionally abusing you, that does not mean that you have to keep them around just because, we're related, we're blood. Blood does not always mean love. Blood does not always mean respect. Blood does not always mean that someone has to be a value aspect of your life, especially if they don't treat you as a value aspect in theirs. I know, Naeem, you said you wanted to say something, so I'm going to let you go ahead.
You definitely saying some valid points there, and I want to really speak on what Marquette and Gemma said. And not only we want to talk about the people that that experience domestic violence, but that witnessed domestic violence as well, because one, I heard, even though I witnessed domestic violence within my sister, because she was in a relationship at the time. Then I don't, and then what the parents put, I seen it too, but I don't want to like say be I would say get into detail, but I do want to talk about the story that I heard about when I don't know if y'all know the actor called Terry Crews or not, but it's like when he was a child or whatever, I think, and
I don't know if you meant to cut out or if it was an accident, but okay, there you go.
I was confused. But it was the story with the actor Terry Crews, and he was talking about how you know I'm all right. My bad.
Okay, I think Naeem's service is acting up. So if he comes back, I'll let him finish his story. If not, then I'll just keep going on with what I was saying. So yeah, Naeem, you might have to leave and come back, or just join back in a minute. Maybe turn your Wi-Fi on and off. Try that. That might help. But if you get back in, you're welcome to finish what you were saying. So most of my questions were for people who have been through some form of abuse, which is why I'm waiting for my co-host. But just to keep emphasizing and talking on, I didn't want to only focus on romantic relationships because I feel like the things that I'm talking about pertain to familiar relationships and platonic relationships as well. As a teenager, Chelsea's comment too. Chelsea said, I've experienced verbal, physical, and emotional. For me, I just needed somebody to talk to and help me get out of that toxic relationship. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad I found resources. Well, first, Chelsea, I'm glad that you found the resources. That's really important. And I'm glad, I hope that you're doing better. If you are, I'm glad for that because that's always amazing to hear somebody else recover. Um, when it came to those resources, if you don't mind me asking, what resources were they? Were they family and friends? Was it an actual support group? Was it a therapy session? That's another thing. I know some people are against therapy, and that might be because we don't have enough Black therapists. We don't have therapists that look like us, and some people don't just like sitting and openly talking about the things that are going on in their lives, especially things like this, out of maybe shame or embarrassment or fear that something may happen. But if you feel more comfortable talking to a friend or a family member, do that. If you do want to find a licensed therapist, there are plenty of Black therapists out there that you could find, and you might just have to set that up. So I feel like it's really important to find all your resources and use all your resources, because if you really truly want to get out of a situation, you'll do it by any means necessary. Naeem, I know you wanted to finish telling your story, so you can go ahead.
all right. So all right. Well, I wasn't ready to talk about his story, but I'm gonna just coming from like my point of view. Well, first things first, I want to say sorry to y'all that actually like went through it and stuff or and witnessed it. And I feel like no one should actually had to witness it and experience it themselves. It's a lot to go through. Like Jordan said, like it don't matter what type of abuse you go through. It takes time to heal. It could take years. You'll never know. Cause like me myself, I'm still numb to this day. Like you feel me? It's like I feel like I'm healed all the way, but I'm not. But I want to talk about how witnessing domestic violence could affect a person. And I remember I was listening to the story the actor named Terry Crews or whatever. He seen his mother was getting beat up and abused. Mind you, he was a very fit guy and stuff like that. And he just didn't want to stand right there. Instead of him witnessing it or whatever, he actually had my bad, my throat itching right now. But he wanted to actually try to talk to his father privately and actually beat him up. And I want to talk about that because it's like, yeah, we could look at it all we want, but it don't mean, oh, it don't affect us in the day. And I understand, like, trying to defend like your parent and all that stuff, but it's like, fighting fighting your father, actually trying to prevent him from abusing your mother and stuff like that. And I understand, but it's like most of the time, it's like things could get worse. It can really actually like that get worse and than before. Like, you probably could be ending up in jail, to be honest, because like I said, I seen it before, so it's nothing new to me. But at the same time, it's like I don't know, but it definitely actually affected me some kind of way. So that really, I could really relate, but I haven't experienced it myself.
Well, first, thank you for sharing that. And I can definitely understand how if you're constantly seeing that in your own environment, it can make you become not numb, but desensitized to it. I feel like saying that you've gone numb completely means that you don't have any type of empathy for the people in those situations. And you do, because you've just shown that you show empathy for people in those situations. You've just become more desensitized to it. And that's the same thing with any type of violence that you see consistently. Like, seeing violence in media can make you become quickly desensitized to it, to the point where you're seeing someone have a violent act performed against them and you don't react the way that someone who isn't frequently seeing that would. So just remembering that, you haven't become completely numb to it. You still have empathy, you still have understanding, and you still have that capacity to understand what someone's going through. But it's much less of a traumatic experience at times when you do see it, because you've grown used to it, which is unfortunate, because you should never have to grow used to seeing violence performed against someone that you care about or someone that you don't even know. My co-host had to do something, so I don't think she's going to be able to make it. So I'm just going to have to run the session on my own. Naeem, you are more than welcome to stay if you just want to add on or if you just want to talk. And anybody else who wants to add on and just wants to talk, that's completely fine. So I already talked to Chelsea about her experience, and she went to a lot of support groups and started going to therapy, and her family helped her. And she said she's doing way better now, which is amazing. So I love that for you, Chelsea. Support groups, I feel like, are really important. I think there are a lot of nonprofits out there. I wish I had done a lot more research before I started the session so I could insert some support groups or nonprofits that help. But I know there are huge groups out there for women and men. That's another thing that I wanted to talk about, the double standards that surround abuse when it comes to relationships or familial abuse in general. There's a stigma when it comes to women opening up about abuse and men opening up about abuse, which may just be because we normally only hear about, women being abused by men and not so much women abusing men, or because they may not speak out, or they may not have, that comfort to speak out and say, I'm being abused in my relationship, and I want to speak out. I want to share my story. So I just feel like that double standard surrounding it, I can't just say I feel like it has to stop, because I feel like there's probably a lot of people who feel that way. But just thinking and trying to answer my own questions, or, just put questions out there in the air, what would make it more comfortable and what would make it a safe space for men to come and speak up about the abuse that they may go through in their familiar relationships or their romantic relationships or their relationships among their friends. Because you never know what someone is going through, and that goes for both women and men. But the stigma surrounding it can make it much harder for some people to speak out. And this might be a really difficult topic to get into just in general, but we haven't touched on the topic of sexual abuse at all. And I feel like we should, because it's something that can occur in young relationships, especially if, one of the people in the relationship may be younger and another person may be older. It can be very easy for people to be sexually coerced. Sexual coercion is a form of sexual assault. So I feel like it's really important to address. If you say no, no means no. If someone is continuously pressuring you or trying to edge you on so that you eventually say yes, even if you go through with it and say yes just to get them to leave you alone or so they stop asking you, that's still a form of sexual coercion, which is still a form of sexual assault. So I feel like that's really important to address. And sexual assault goes through all relationships. It can be between friends, it can be between romantic partners, it can be between family. So just understanding that that is something that you should always want to speak out about. And no, it may not be easy. You may not want to do it the next day or the next week or the next month. But in the end, if you want any type of justice for yourself, any type of closure, you should first make sure you're okay. Go to therapy. If it was a rape, get tested. If you need some form of emotional help, find a support group, find therapy, find family members and friends who will understand. And if it occurred through family, sometimes family may not understand. There are certain family members who, if you tell them that someone did something to you, they may try to blame you. And that's the worst route to go. If you feel like they may do that, then that is the last person that you should tell. Going to the police may not always be the quickest solution. So sometimes really just make sure your mental is good after those type of events. And then try to work for getting results, if that's what you want to do. Because some people don't want that person to go to jail. Some people don't want that person to serve time for what they did. They might just want to make sure they're healed and come to the closure of themselves, forgive themselves, and forgive that person later. So I feel like that's really important to address too. And if anybody has any comments on that, that's fine, or wants to join on that. Naeem, you probably want to say something, so you can go ahead.
Yeah, I did want to interrupt, but yeah, I was ready to speak on the men too, cause it's like what I've really been saying, cause when it comes to the awareness part, because I remember like one time I was scrolling through Instagram and stuff like that, this girl, she was being uh abused. Mind you, I think she was pregnant at the time, and she was being abused by her boyfriend, I believe, and and stuff like that. And she was trying to actually reach out to the people she was close with, but instead she was trying to put it on live, like put it on Instagram live. I don't know if you've seen it, but it happened like last year. She put it on Instagram live, and some people was like, "Oh, she clout chasing. Oh, she doing too much." But at the same time, my thing is, she probably called the closest people, she like the people she was close with. What if they wasn't trying to pick up? Like, what if like she even had people to talk to? Maybe she was trying to bring awareness to this, actually telling people like, this what it looks like. You don't want to get into this stuff. I don't really see it as clout chaser if you trying to actually, yeah, I think, yeah, stuff like that. So I don't really see it as clout chasing, trying to seek attention, but I see it as trying to bring awareness and seek for help, because like as many it happened to people before, where they couldn't actually call their peoples to help, and now they got use social media to actually bring it out to people. Do you want to speak on that?
Um, I don't ever feel like anybody speaking out on abuse is clout chasing or them trying to get attention. If someone is going to the extent to use social media to show that they're being abused, it may be because they really had no other solution and no other route. Because family doesn't always support, especially if the person that they were dating or that they're involved in, the family didn't approve of. When that abuse starts to occur, their family may not leap to help them in the end. So I've never chasing clout or get attention or just trying to show off for social media when they speak out about the abuse that they've been going to, whether they decide to post it or just bring awareness to it through social media. I never feel like they're chasing clout, especially if they use it as a way to warn other people. Because if someone is abusive, if someone is an abuser, that is not going to be the first thing that they tell you when you first meet them. It's probably not going to be something they reveal until months in, when you've grown comfortable with them and when you've related to them. So once that person moves on and possibly decides to go on and date other people, they may not reveal that to the other people that they become involved in. So sometimes making those posts can save a life, because you never know if that person may get involved. The person who is doing the abuse may get involved with another person. So that other person, or potentially other people, multiple other people, will see that person's post and say, oh, wow, didn't know that they were like this, didn't know the type of person that they were. So I feel like that's really important to never judge unless they are proven, for me, innocent until proven guilty. Unless that person who is talking about their abuse or talking about being abused is proved to be lying, which is usually hard to do when it comes to abuse, especially if they have proof. Unless it's proved that they are lying, then believe them. I always try to just support believing the victim. That's just me personally. Some people don't believe that motive or that method, but when someone is speaking out about abuse, I believe it. Whether it's a child, whether it's adult, whether it was years later, or whether it was the next day, I try to always just believe the victim. And that's just what I have been taught to do. Innocent until proven guilty. If someone doesn't give you a reason not to trust what they're saying, you should always trust what they're saying. Especially when it comes to children, speaking back on like familial abuse and abuse towards from your friends and peers, believe it. If a child is coming up to you saying something, children usually know right from wrong very early on. They usually listen to what they're told. They know if something makes them uncomfortable very easily and will be vocal about that. So if a child is telling you that this family member makes me uncomfortable, I don't like when this family member comes over, this family member does this, this, and this to me, they're most likely telling the truth. Almost always are telling the truth. Now, there may be some cases where they might be exaggerating or not telling the whole truth, but for the most part, if a child is talking about abuse, coming to an adult actively talking about abuse, or someone making them uncomfortable, is for a reason. Even if it's not a child, if a teenager or a young adult or any type of adult is coming to you telling you that a person makes them uncomfortable, that a person is performing actions on them that doesn't make them comfortable, then believe it.
And I definitely want to touch on that, and you always want to believe it as well, because something, it's something that you probably don't even know about, or you never knew, because you can probably say, oh, she lying, but it's something, but people can say, oh, she lying on da 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 da, but actually, the point is you missing something. I feel like I feel like I should believe the person too, believe the victim too, until proven guilty, because you'll never know. Like, it's something that you probably ain't even knew about, and you should always trying to actually help out and stuff like that. And I actually want to talk about I don't, if that's okay. Jordan, you went away. Is my stuff acting up?
No, I'm sorry. My mom had called me, so I had to take that really quickly.
Okay, okay, because I thought my Google Chrome was acting up. But
No, you're good.
I want to talk about the if that's okay with you. But I want
Mhm.
to talk about you know like like when it comes to human trafficking, domestic violence can play a part in it too.
Oh, yeah, I definitely feel like it can play a part, but just in general, even among your peers, but domestic violence can play a role in human trafficking. Maybe that person is abusing them and trafficking them, using them for trafficking. But I don't think you would ever really know unless that person decides to speak out on it, because you can't always tell if someone is being abused. You can't always tell if someone is being trafficked, but they may tie into each other. I'm not sure if they do completely, but it may play a role.
Yeah, and I was saying that because I'm in a youth organization called Not for Sale Youth, held by Ania. I don't know if you know who Ania is. You know who she is, right? All right,
I
and
know for sure.
all right, cool. Cause it's some people you might not want to know and you might know. But yeah, we just hosted an event at the bowling event just to actually like help people come together and have fun at a bowling event. I was there,
Right.
Zanya was there, and everybody else. So yeah, I'm in it because it's like I was just saying that. So if you guys like experience stuff like this, like when it comes to human trafficking, reach out to not for sale youth Baltimore at Instagram, and I think we have our hotline, but I'm gonna reach out to Anaya about it because she the mastermind. But I'm gonna let Jordan continue to go on.
Thank you. But I definitely feel like what Naeem was saying was important because they can tie into each other. The two can go together, and they're just as difficult to speak out on, and it's just as difficult to find support and help sometimes. So, first, I want to say, not for sale. What y'all doing is amazing. It's great that y'all are speaking out on that because you don't know how much you're helping other people. Even if you may not see it right now, you guys are probably helping a lot of people with what you're doing. So I love the program, and in the year you're doing great. But just to go back to talking about abuse when it comes to relationships and just tying it back into the different forms, the different types, just making sure that we focus on all aspects, especially if there are people who are going through every aspect of abuse, emotional, physical, mental. It can be much harder to recover from that. Mental abuse can completely rewire the way you think. Like your complete hardware can be changed just because of how draining that situation can be. And it can make it really difficult to leave. That's another thing that I wanted to try to dive into, how difficult it can be for some people to get out of those situations, whether it be physical or not. Just some people develop comfort. Stockholm syndrome is a thing where you become comfortable with your abuser or the person who is abusing you at the time. So you don't want to risk leaving that situation because you don't know anything outside of it. So those are things, that's the type of situation where therapy would really have to play an important role and really have to come in, because you really have to unlearn the tendencies that you're used to dealing with. You have to kind of rewire yourself to understand that it's not okay, that this isn't what my life has to be, this isn't who I am at all, because after abuse, you're a completely different person than you were before the abuse. So I feel like it's really important to just understand that asking for help is okay. It may seem risky or feel risky depending on what type of person you're dealing with. You never know how they'll react to other people knowing what they're putting you through. So it's really important to understand that, yes, asking for help is risky, but it's better to be safe in the end than sorry in the long run, because you never know what will cause someone to go over the edge when it comes to that type of situation. So the most important thing that I really did want to talk about, and I'm sorry that I don't have any links for support groups or nonprofits that can help, but I will reach out and send some to anybody who needs some, because I can always look some up. But just asking for help is really important, whether it be from a professional, whether it be from someone that you trust, meaning family or friends. So just understanding that asking for help, and help is available, even if it's not in the normal places that you look. So just understanding that help is there, help is available. It's not impossible to find it. You just have to look in the right places for you. And that's important. Finding your safe spaces, finding your safe havens when you are going through these situations is really, really important. Another thing that I wanted to try to talk about or try to get into, most of these are questions, which really sucks because they were questions for my co-host. But the question that I did have for anyone in the chat who has been through any form of abuse is, what advice would you give someone who is currently being abused or currently recovering? So if anybody has been through any type of abuse, whether it be verbal, physical, mental, emotional, or has witnessed it, has firsthand seen it occurring towards someone else, if you guys want to speak out and give any advice in the chat, or if you want to get sent the link so that you can speak really quickly, that would be great. I haven't been through it personally, but I feel like I've given a decent amount of advice when it comes to trying to speak out. But Naeem, if you want to go, you can.
Yeah, I was raised. I got a little I'm ready to drop the link for Not for Sale and some other nonprofits that I know. But my advice to someone that is currently going through domestic violence right now, I would say you're not alone, and I feel like you deserve more. Cause at the end of the day, we gotta heal, and I feel like you should heal as well. You shouldn't be abused, cause we all been in dark times and stuff like that. But at the same time, I feel like we shouldn't take it more. I feel like we should always seek help. It don't matter what it is or what anybody say. Always seek for help. Never be afraid. And um, always seek for help and support. Just keep on going because it's never a limit when it comes to support.
I definitely agree. You can look for support in a bunch of different places. So just understanding that even though it may not be familiar to you, therapy may be a new thing to some people. Talking to people in general about your issues may be a new thing to some people. So just understanding that it may be difficult or it might not be familiar. Just getting comfortable with it, because getting help is really the end goal. Getting that support that you need, getting that recovery that you need is really the most important thing, because your safety and first of all, your safety for your physical being and your safety for your mental health should be the most important thing on your mind. Whether the person is a friend, the person is a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, parent, cousin, uncle, brother, sister, if the person harming you or doing the abuse against you is someone important in your life, that does not mean you have to keep them around. Yes, comfort and comfortability can make it really hard to let go of people, really hard to escape these situations. It's just as important for yourself to let go and relieve yourself of the stresses that you're probably going through. I don't want to end early, but Naeem, you want to go?
I just dropped the link for Not for Sale, and not only that, we got Tony's art program coming up, and I'm sure you could join too, Jordan. I just got to talk to Anair about it
Right.
because not we I don't know if, well, because I remember it's the good news about it is like with Not for Sale for our Tony's art program, we got our grant money, but I ain't gonna say too much. But so we ready to get it going, and we're not only doing this based on art, but we doing this because Miss Joni, that's see Miss Joni, see, I'm trying to be a backup.
It's
I'm trying
okay,
to
Naeem. It's okay. But hey, give out some free promotion for Not for Sale, because their organization is literally tying into what I'm talking about today. It's just as important. So whatever event y'all have going on, I would love to support and love to join.
I bet I'm gonna let Anir know as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for coming. It would definitely help, because I need that support, especially since I didn't have my co-host. But yeah. So thank you. And if you want to have any last closing remarks, I really appreciate you being here though and sharing your side and your opinions. I really appreciate it. So yeah, if you got anything else to say, you can go ahead and then you can close out.
Thank you for allowing me to be on here.
Of
Even though
course.
I ain't really see myself being on here, but since we ain't got our co-host, I'm like, okay, let me at least trying to support Jordan over here, cause
Thank
not only
you.
supported me, but like, it's we all gonna need help throughout our success or whatever. And y'all tune in a event on June the 19th. You're gonna see me there. I'm gonna do my business, stuff like that with Canada Barbs and my man's Dante. And I don't really got nothing else to say, but thank you for allowing me to be here.
Okay. Well, you can go ahead and close out, and Miss Joni, you can come back.
We are here, yo. I'm so sorry, yo. But you know what? You held it down.
Okay.
You held it down. You really did your thing. And I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
still having this important conversation. How you gonna leave without giving us no jewel?
Oh, now you didn't give a jewel?
Ain't no oh. Hey, yo. Neither one of y'all ain't get no jewel. You
I'm
talking
not
about
leaving yet. I'm
talking
still
about-
here.
oh, all right, all right. Look at Naeem talking about let me back in. Hey,
I
yo.
don't know yet. I'm still here.
Naeem, you about to get on here with all the promos and everything.
She all
They better be paying you right.
That's sessions. This not success sessions like how it was last year. Though say that.
Get this man off here.
I get like 100 jewels a day. You might never know.
Do you got a jewel or no? I'm about to get you off here because it's time to go.
I got a jewel. I would just say is never. I would say based on your experiences, never let that define who you are to this day. It don't matter if you're in the streets or what you're going through right now. Never let that define who you are as a person. And end of the day, because you got a purpose, God made you, and yeah, it's just you and yourself and God, and nobody can control you. And yeah, stay to yourself, get your money up, not your funny up. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's your boy.
Oh,
You was doing all right to the last part. You was doing all right to the last part.
just
support.
I take my snap back. Let me do a reverse snap. I take it back.
You had me and then you lost me.
Exactly.
Wow.
Just go ahead and just close the laptop. Hit the X on the ground.
Not the X.
See.
Bye, Naeem. We can do this with you, yo. Bye, yo. Bye, yo. Listen, you can do this on Tech Tuesday. Do this on your show.
Nickel. This is not your program.
Do this on your show on Tech Tuesday.
Yo. It's telling you to leave.
Like Miss Joni said, it's not just a program, it's a promise. When she say that, she don't mean.
And my promise to you is if you don't get off my screen in 2.2 seconds, I promise you I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna fight you.
Bye, Naeem. We got one more thing to do. Bye.
I gotta get my jewel.
Don't make me pull up to that shoe store.
Leave my 9 to 5 alone, okay?
That 9 to 5, it ain't nothing wrong with it. I said just don't make me pull up to that shoe store, cause
Naeem,
dog, I
log out.
Yeah,
just close it. Just take the screen and just right like that. Just do that.
Just tell her I don't want to pull up to the shoe store again. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it.
Anyway, back to my jewel. First, I want to say thank you everybody who came and stayed, everybody who participated in the chat. I really appreciate it. I definitely really appreciate the support from everybody. Chelsea and Mar, thank you for sharing your stories, short stories, even though, it wasn't anything big. I really do appreciate it because it definitely helped, and it was definitely helpful for me to have somebody tie in their own personal stories and just be able to relate to what I was talking about. But now for my jewel, I feel like I've said this jewel so many times, but the fact that I'm still saying it means that somebody's still using it. But never be afraid to ask for help or assistance, no matter where it comes from. You can get help and you can get support in sometimes the most unusual places and from people that you would never expect to reach out and support you. So just be comfortable with having people say, hey, I saw that you were down. Do you need anything? Or, hey, you haven't been to class in a couple of days. Do you need to work? Or you haven't been to work. Do you need me to pick up some of your shifts? Just be comfortable with help coming forward from people that you wouldn't expect or from places that you wouldn't expect. And asking for help does not make you weak at all. Nobody did anything in life alone. Yes, you may have been born alone and you're most likely going to die alone. That sounds real dark, but it's not meant to be. But you came into this world, unless you're a twin, you came into this world by yourself. You will leave this world by yourself. That doesn't mean that you can't have someone there to support you and help you in between. Because those relationships, those connections, those bonds can take you further than you would by yourself. And I feel like that's really important, understanding that connections the relationships and bonds that you form with people, the representation that you put out there in the world to other people is just as important as who you are as an individual. So that's my jewel for today. And again, thank you, Ms. Joni, for letting me hold.
Exactly.
Because
No, thank you. Naeem, you.
I was ready to say, you see, got Miss Amber on here.
Yeah, we know. We already shouted her out. Where was you?
Thank you, Amber.
No, but look.
What you mean?
No, look, real quick though, y'all. We gotta address what Charles just said real quick. Charles said he can't relate, so that's why he didn't want to come on. Coming from a black boy, like
that's literally the whole thing I was just talking about with that stigma.
Right. And look, Charles and other people who think like Charles, your voices are probably one of the most important anyway, because you have influence to be able to talk about if you were in that situation, what you would do, how you hold your peers accountable when you see them doing stuff that ain't right. Because I know y'all be saying some of them little boys getting out on them girls in the lunchroom, or girl, like y'all see it, y'all bystanders gotta step out from a bystander role and come into the spotlight.
It's just because you haven't been through it personally and you don't have firsthand experience doesn't mean that you haven't witnessed it. You haven't, empathy goes a long way. Just because you haven't been in the situation yourself doesn't mean that you wouldn't understand and know what to do if it were you or if it was somebody that you knew. So even though you don't have that firsthand experience, you can still gain experience from other people. You can still share what you would do if you were in that situation.
Exactly.
Because the supporters are just as important as the people who are going through it. Because at the end of the day, the people who go through it need those supporters. So it's really just understanding that, your voice still matters, whether you have experience or not. Anything helps. Just coming and saying, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Here's what I would do. That helps more than, not saying anything.
Exactly. And see, he just said that he do speak out on it. So that right there could have been a powerful testimony so that other people who might not have the courage to speak out on it, because I know that's something that I would be interested in hearing, like, okay, how come more people aren't speaking out on it? Because I've been in situations like in high schools recently where you just watch the BS go on and people just sitting back, not saying nothing, like it's okay. And I'm just like,
exactly.
Like not one person. So, and thank you, King Core. King Core said this conversation was needed. Absolutely. And Mar said, even if you didn't witness it, I think it's important to give some coping skills on how to deal with stuff like that. Absolutely, Mar, because y'all got more power than what y'all think, and more people are listening than what you think. So I just want people to keep that in mind, especially bystanders. Y'all got to get out of the bystander role and get into the spotlight, even when conversations like this. But y'all, before I leave, who on here is not associated with Heart Smiles? Like you never been to Winning Wednesday, Driving Thursday, Focus Friday, but you was invited by somebody. I know we ain't got a lot of people on here, but if you not like officially associated with Heart Smiles, you not a real heartbeat for real, and somebody invited you here, tell me who that
Charles. Really?
Yo, he played too much, y'all. He played too much. I need you to help me out. Is somebody about to get $100 blessing tonight or no? Put your little hand down, y'all. Hannah.
Oh, okay.
Has Hannah been here the whole time, yo? Hannah, you been here the whole time? Hannah, don't be lying.
I told my man Ronald to join. No, listen.
Hannah, if you've been here the whole time, Hannah, tell me something that happened in the beginning of this conversation. And who invited you, Hannah? Tell me who invited you. Hannah.
I told my man Charles to join. Listen, Knight, how are you in here typing?
Look, I told my man's Ronald. Hey,
I'm not official. Everybody trying to get that $100.
Hey, yo. No, it's on Hannah right now.
I told Journey. What was Journey going to join on?
Listen. Hey, look, we ain't got We ain't got to speak about nobody that ain't show up. I'm talking about people that came, people that arrived. Because it's quality over quantity. So even though we only got a little intimate little situation right here, it's still good, and we still gotta do a blessing. So yeah, her iPad. Hannah bluffing.
Come on, Hannah.
Hannah bluffing.
That's
Miss
the money.
Sharon like me. Hey, Miss Sharon, stop playing. You be hanging out with us.
Hey, Hannah, let's split that $100 with.
You ain't splitting none with that girl.
You don't even know Hannah.
Exactly.
I probably don't know her, but let's split the $100. I'm low key down bad right now, so let's split the $100.
You ain't no down bad. I see your cash app. You ain't no down bad.
Oh, you see my cash?
No, baby, put that cash app on the screen.
She was going to see what happened in the beginning, chilling. Oh my Lord!
Asking for $20. She was yo. Hey yo, don't tell me Hannah rewinded. Hey Hannah, stop playing, yo.
I think Hannah up and skedaddled. We done put her on the spot.
Yo,
she hit the browser quicker than Naeem was supposed to.
Right. Hannah playing, yo.
Well,
you go, man.
Dang, that's a shame, yo.
It should have been. I'm not gonna say your last name, but Jordan and Naeem Adams, cause you feel me. But on
your last name.
It's Blandon. I've been saying your last name.
Why are you saying that?
Hey yo,
it's Blandon.
No, I should end the whole session. I don't even have that power. But if I did, that is so disrespectful. Do you know what type of no? What type of audacity do you have to just put my? Oh, you don't know who's listening. What if I'm hiding from the government?
I cannot with this boy.
How you hide for the government?
Now, what if the feds just broke through my window right now because you just said my name?
You's an awesome person that's working at.
That don't mean nothing. You don't know what I do with my part-time job.
Well,
I promise y'all, we was talking about domestic violence. I don't know where this.
He just like openly just said my government like that. What, you got my social security number next? Like, hold on.
Yo, Tizzy Tay said, "Well, I can say something. Gaia didn't show up." So Jordan and I handled it. Hey yo,
sue him, not sue him. You know what? Yep, Naeem, I gotta sue you for defamation of character.
I've been in your name when I met
you. I want my money.
Outside of Heart Smiles.
I want my money. They a mess. All right, well then this is what we can do, Jordy. Since nobody sent nobody to us, we could do $250, y'all.
Okay.
Who you think deserve it? I'm giving you the power. Who you think deserve it?
I'm gonna say Naeem, of course, because he helped out with the session a lot. I'm just saying, Miss Joni, he joined.
Okay. You like to feed the headache.
Naeem joined and he was here. So honestly, this is my little co-host. So I can't
not your little co-host.
I can't give my little tiny guest speaker no credit. I gotta give him a little bit of credit. So and not Charles.
Now you want to say so? Hey girl.
Now you.
That's Charles Nicola.
And I was going. It's between Chelsea and Marquay. I don't know which one of them I want to give it to, but they both share their stories, so I feel like that's really important. So yeah, I don't know. It's between Chelsea and Marquay for the last one.
It's on you. This on you. Don't make me choose. This is you. I say you. Naeem, you on, shorty? Somebody asking for $20.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I was
saying, we're gonna flip a coin real quick.
Hey yo, not the coin. Are you serious?
If y'all want to know a secret, this is how I decided which school to go to. So yeah.
Hey yo, who got heads? Who got tails, yo?
We're gonna do Martha heads and Chelsea's for tails. Okay, ready?
All right, let's get the $50 queued up.
Chelsea. Chelsea, go. It landed on tails.
So that's Chelsea.
So Chelsea, there you go. Now you put the phone down. You got your $50. Relax.
Right? Hey,
My mother calling me. Hold on.
Miss Wendy ain't go. Hey, Miss Wendy.
Yes.
I surely did. Well, actually, I spun a wheel first, and the wheel knocked it down to 2, so then I flipped the coin. That's how I decided on my
Hey,
school.
Miss
Don't do what I do.
Crazy. Chelsea,
Miss
congratulations, Chelsea.
Miss Jones, my mom said hi.
Hey, Miss
Very hard
Wendy.
decision.
She said, hey.
Your son on here elaborating us to death.
Yeah, I'm all elaborated out.
All right.
Oh man.
All right.
Yo,
You're out right now.
bye, yo. Thank you, Jordy. That was amazing.
Okay.
Shout out to Mom. Shout out to Chelsea.
Thank
Shout
you,
out to
guys.
the elaborator. Yo, this was fun. We're gonna see you next time. You gotta do this again.
I'm gonna be here well, I don't know. I think I work tomorrow. I'll be here Thursday.
Yo, tell them people to let you take a break at 6.
They heard that I was out of school and they put every shift they could on there. When I say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 1 to 10:15, yeah, they got me.
They trying to milk the cow before you go, man.
They got me working.
All right, well, you have a good day at work, and hopefully you can just sneak in on us tomorrow. Then.
Thank you. You too.
All right, I see you later.
All right, bye.
Y'all, what a great conversation, y'all. And for real, y'all, shout out to Jordy, y'all, for holding it down. Like, this is how you work when things don't go as planned. Like, this is how you keep moving, even when you get those hiccups and challenges that come in the way. She could have just been like, nah, y'all, we ain't doing it. Like, we based the whole conversation around somebody's experience. Like, we based the whole thing around this particular issue. And she could have used that as a reason to just not even do it. But the fact that she stayed with it, the fact that she still kept it engaging and still kept it relevant, like, yo, that's important. And that should be celebrated because that's leadership. So look, we got more town halls coming up. Y'all know the town hall series is called From a Youth Perspective. So all different topics are coming up. And if it's a topic that you want to take on, yo, hit me up. Let me know. Like, let's get that thing going. Like, all these things need to be talked about. Like, hey, Tizzy Tay said it's giving a cuss out today. Nah, Listen, I already told y'all, everybody don't get a cuss out. We need, if anything, I should be cussing myself out. No, we ain't even doing that. Miss Sharon Kaya, all right, yo. She all right. She is fine, yo. Yo, but look, y'all already know what it is. Y'all know what I'm about to say, yo. Go be productive, yo. Go be productive. Like, after you get off of this live, yo, please go do something that's connected to your goals. Go do something that's connected to your version of success. Tizzy Tay, you want to do a town hall? Hey, yo. Long as it ain't like that video I saw, yo. Long as it ain't like that, yo. But look, if whatever you about to do when you get off of this live, if it's not connected to your version of success, if it's not connected to your goals, like, yo, just don't do it. Like, this is where your discipline got to kick in. And this is where you really got to, like, buckle yourself down and keep yourself committed to your goals. So if you ain't got no goals, man, listen, that's a way bigger problem. Like, yo, that problem is bigger than me if you ain't got no goals. And don't call me, yo. Don't call me. Call Cam Gotti, yo, call Ma the General, call Jordy, like, yo, call Big 16, call somebody, but don't call me. And that's where you start. You start by actually creating yourself some goals, and they ain't got to be all long, drawn out. Start with small steps, y'all. Start with small goals, things that you can easily accomplish, and get in the habit of accomplishing goals every single day. And that's how you get closer to your version of success. Let me see. Diane, you gonna call me later? Elaborate to her. You can't elaborate my whole ear off, yo. And Ma, what you mean I was about to call you today? Like, yo, y'all think I don't work, yo. Y'all think I could just be on FaceTime looking at your hairline up all day. Like, yo, I was not supposed to call you, yo. You is crazy, yo. All right, Tizzy Tay. White Marsh, that's around the corner. Okay, I'll see you when you get there. I love it. I love it. Yo said by the end of November, I have my shop in Mondawmin and then in White Marsh. All right. I love it. I love it. Yes. Tell Miss Wendy to call me. You know, I love Miss Wendy. Miss Wendy can call me anytime. But all right, y'all. Y'all already know who it is, yo. I'm out of here. If y'all rocking with us tomorrow for Winning Wednesday, I'll see you on Winning Wednesday, shorty. I'm out of here.